What's up, everybody? One moment. In a society where people are so quick to throw good men away, you then raise a bunch of people that are so uncomfortable with the truth, especially when it concerns men, that when faced with the truth, they were rather manipulated to their own comfort. Let's talk about one of these unsettling truths. And I wanted to stop to read this because this is Matthew chapter 25. This is the parable of the virgins. All right. And there's a lesson in this that a lot of these Blfefails don't want to hear. And one of the things that have come to my attention is that out of this matriarchal system that people claim to be too patriarchal, they claim is toxic masculinity. Well, you have to wonder where it came from if everybody is raised by women, where everything that is taught to suit women, where everything has gone away from nature. And I was looking up some information on the Dogon. And in it, off the title, I clicked on some information about the Dogon and came across this video by the dude called the Home Team. Now, I don't watch none of his garbage because he acts like he's doing research, but he manipulates the research to promote his female deity. We all come from female kind of ideology. Never mind biology, never mind people's histories. All right. These are the type of dudes that go looking for queens and say how great they were when none of them had a lasting kingdom or queendom. And I was particularly surprised by this because you would think the dude would give the absolute facts about the Dogon. And basically, it goes like this. In the Dogon theory of how we got here, the creator was male. There's no doubt. There isn't even a consensus. What this dude did on this thing called his videos are called the Home Team was he said, well, the Dogon, their god, which could be male or female, he said that. But that's not their history. That is not what they say. That is not the truth. That is not the Dogon's truth if you're going to talk about the Dogon. So you cannot add your history or your belief system and say that your belief system was the other people's belief system when everybody could look at the history and say, no, they only had one creator and that creator was male. Now, you may believe that that creator theory is in error, okay, and you could argue that I believe that's in error. But you cannot persuade people, or it is a lie. I'm not even disingenuous. You are a liar to understand that their deity was male, and then in your video, try to twist it and say, in their belief, it was half the time male, half the time female. The consensus is, if you ask the Dogon, it was a man. Now, the creation that came from the earth, dang, sound like Genesis. Male and female at the same time. That the earth Mother Earth brought forth male and female. So he male and female from the earth. Dang, that sounds just like Genesis. Let us create man in our own image after our own likeness. And then Elohim created he male, she female. He created them. Genesis, first chapter. So I mentioned all of that so that I could get to here, where we get into the title, how these Blfefails fail and what's going on. All right. So before I get into the title, let me just read this. This is the parable of the virgins. And this is why I stopped. And then I'll read on. Parable of the virgins. Matthew chapter 25. This is the New International Version about virgins. Okay. And I want you to pay attention to this. And this is going to break down my topic as to how much these Blfefails fail at failing. All right. So we're going to get into it. Let me see who's on. Because I want to give everybody an opportunity. Okay. And this has everything to do with how the Blfefails, the Blfefails, squandered their worth trying to value themselves as men. All right. Let's not forget to get those thumbs up. And if you have any comments, comment. And eventually this will be a call-in with this setup. All right. So let's start at Matthew chapter 25. And looks like, okay, and 1. At the time the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins. 10 virgins. So wives, 1 has to be like virgins, right? Who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. 10 virgins went out to meet the bridegroom. People are having a hard time with this in this time is because according to Hebrew culture, a man could have more than 1 wife. But because of the domination of European culture where they needed to control the indigenous people, they cut that mess out and said, no, 1 wife for 1 man. People have a hard time grasping even what the Romans understood as history when they were writing the New Testament under Titus Flavian. They understood the culture of the Hebrews. That's how you deceive them with a lie. You put a lot of truth in what they do, what their customs are, and this is one of their customs. Many of the Hebrews walking around at that time had more than 1 wife, if you were rich enough to do it. All right. This is proof because they put it as part of the culture. All right. This parable don't mean anything if the things talked about in the parable is not a central part of the culture. What good is a parable if nobody understands it because they don't do what the parable is saying? When a sower sows seeds and he sows seeds on fertile ground, seeds on rocky ground, and farmers understand that. That don't have no meaning to people that aren't basically farmers. So this wouldn't have any meaning to people that did not get married in this fashion. All right. So he went, these are virgins or maidens who took their lamps, went out to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them were foolish and 5 were wise. The foolish ones took their lamps, but did not take any oil with them. The wise ones, however, took oil jars along with their lamps. The bridegroom was a long time coming, and they all became drowsy and fell asleep. Okay? Understand this. So it is the woman's job to wait on a good bridegroom. Right? The other thing, you got to be wise. But you got to be one other thing. And let's go to 6. All right, so that was 25, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're at Matthew 25 and 6. Again, this is what the Flavians wrote to misguide us away from the commandments, but you had to have our customs and history in order to be able to do that effectively. All right, so here we go. At midnight, and this is what is in red letters in the King James Version, right? So y'all know what that means. At midnight, the cry rang out, "Here's the bridegroom, come out to meet him." All right. So all 10 virgins were going out to meet the bridegroom. Then all the virgins woke up, trimmed their lamp, and the foolish one said to the wise, "Give us some of your oils. Our lamps are going out." All right, 9, 25 and 9. "No," they replied, "there may not be enough for both of us and you." So there might not be enough for both us and you. Instead, go to those who sell oil and buy some for yourselves. Right? But in number 10, here's the big fig Newton. But while they were on their way to buy oil, the bridegroom arrived. The virgins who were ready, the virgins who were ready went in with him to the wedding banquet, and the door was shut. Later, the others also came. "Lord, Lord," they said, "open up the door for us." But he replied, "Truly I tell you, I don't know you. Therefore keep watch, but you know not the day nor the hour." Right? So why did they use a wedding? Why did they use bridegrooms? Why did they use more than one? Because understand this, this was part of that culture. Now let me greet everybody real quick. Talafalava soy fua. Geworden hardu gudal ola oi to the bank. Vasas los. Bonjour mes amis. Kedu bawani konnichiwa. Ni hao ni ama. Sani bonani. Jumbo harbarigani. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Kumusta ka and kumusta pokayo. Real quick, don't forget my donation links and everything are in the description box. I would like to add there's a BitChute link in the description box. So for those of you that wonder what happened to my videos that was up, then they disappeared, they're on BitChute because I did not want to take the risk of YouTube flagging the videos because of the content it had to deal with the doctors that came out about the coronavirus. It had to deal with a lot of other things, right? So you need to go on BitChute, subscribe to the BitChute to get those videos. Now, for the live things, I will be doing here. All right. Now, so we're going to talk about these Blfefails, right? How they squandered their worth trying to value themselves as men. And this is, well, let me first tell you like how they do it, right? 1, they rejected good men for men that they could control, right? They do not bring, understand, they do not bring what men need. They bring what they think they need, but more times they end up bringing into a relationship what men don't need. All right? Now, this goes to this other point. Oftentimes, these women are unavailable. They want to meet you, but they are unavailable to meet you. They always have something to do because they think it's your job to chase them, because that's what the Blfefails trained us to do as matriarchal mothers, talking about toxic masculinity. If masculinity is toxic, then it has to be the fault of this matriarchy. Because women probably needed to learn the hard way. You cannot train a boy to be a man. Only a man can do that. And then the last thing, these people, these women in the United States are more difficult to get together and meet up with, even if they live down the street from you. If you're a good man. If you are a good man. If you're a wicked man, you have a command. You have no problems. When you are a wicked man, you have no problems. All right, real quick, let's see who popped in. All right, let me see if... Hold on. Let me see if I can get again to who's up in here. All right, got something here. That should be turned totally off. Okay. Hey, what's up, Rolando G? What's up, Frankie? What's up, Raheem Benjamin? What's up, Mental OG? What's up, Carlos? What's up, A Moore? All right, so I don't know who else is up in here yet. All right. I'll try to keep track. All right, I will try to keep track. All right, there we go. All right. Let's see. That's everybody. All right. Oh, all you got to do to donate, all you got to do is to go into the description box and click on either the Cash App or the PayPal me. When you click on the PayPal me, make sure you're donating to friends, because all the stuff that the channel do is nonprofit. All right, so we just go and help out brothers and Afro people in other Afro communities around the world. We do a little here, but you know the thanks we get when we do stuff here, right? So basically, just go into the description box, click on either Cash App or click on the PayPal me. All right, either way. All right, now, so let's get this started. First of all, let me mention this also. So, to the brothers. All right, so the trips I'm going to Brazil by myself on September 8th, because I got to take a lot of stuff there, because, you know, they was kind of hit kind of hard, right? And I checked with United, flights to be available. Already told Selma there, and so I'm taking a lot of stuff there. But the Philippines or Brazil in November, we could do both for those that want to go to the Philippines and those that want to go to Brazil. All right, so we'll work that out. When we go to the Philippines, all right, because of the limitations, when I go to Brazil, I could take a lot more stuff than when I go to the Philippines, right? So for the brothers that might want to go to the Philippines, because there's some that wanted to do that, what I do is there is a teacher there, and If we have some extra stuff, maybe they could carry a bag. If they're going light, all right. And so that's how we do this. We do the same thing in Brazil when a lot of the brothers that need one stuff to go down to their ladies in Brazil, they give it to me to take it there. When I need them to take a bag down there because they're traveling nightly, I give it to them and they drop it off at the NGO. So that's how we do that. So now let's get into this and why this came about. All right. So I was in a discussion. All right. I was in a discussion with somebody on in my what do you call it? Messenger. All right. So black females again blocked me from going on Facebook. So for those of you that get a hold to this, share it in your groups if you can. Those of you that belong to groups, if you can, please share this in your groups. All right, so this is where we're at. All right. I was explaining to them, this is somebody I've known throughout my life. Right? And so they came in proximity to me. I'm in Houston. They're kind of in one of the outskirts of Houston. And they was wondering what I was doing. And when they found out that I was in Houston, they started talking, oh, this, that, and the other. Right? So basically, we were having a conversation about what's been going on in our lives. Well, basically, what's been going on in my life, because I know what's been going on in theirs, because a lot of bad stuff happened behind, well, their choices. I know more about what's going on in theirs because of how scandalous what happened. And when you're in a small town, everybody knows. Even a person you think is far, far away. All right. And so in this discussion, when I was mentioning what I was doing, they was like, yeah, that's you. You've always been good to children. All right. So the stuff that I do now, it's just who I am. It's what I've done all my life. It's what I just tried to do all my life. And the people that know me the closest, if Texas Marine is on here, Simplify brother, if y'all ain't here, and USMC vet, Simplify brother, if y'all ain't here. I can't see who's on here anymore. But if they're on here, they'll tell you. All right, they'll tell you that I basically, they know people that know me, and they understand that who I am now is who I've always been. I always felt that it was up to me to share with people that had less than me to the best of my ability. It's just that thanks to YouTube and a lot of the brothers from the channel, I got a lot of help through donations and stuff. And so now when we do things, we're doing stuff as brothers, as Afro brothers, right? So when we go, we can make an impact, and we're not going down as neutered brothers either. We just saying that we're complicated men. And nobody might understand us but our woman. She might just be a foreign woman, but she'll understand us. All right? And so, basically, this is where this is. So, basically, they was talking about, she says that I be on it and that I have great passion, right? Now she used to know me like way back in the day when I used to do the preaching and stuff, right? And then we was talking about what I do and how dangerous it was, right? Now, here's the thing. One of the things that stood out when she said she had some goals set, but they didn't happen, right? And this is the other thing. All right. And so what happens is we have a society where we got females, again, when I say they want to take the place of the men. So they set goals for themselves that has nothing to do with family. It's about them. That has nothing to do with men. It's only about them, without realizing that they are more liable because of the way our laws are to get stuck raising a family by themselves, because they don't consider family as a man being part of it. Now, what they do is they'll go get a man they think they can control, or they think that this spirit that they found can control. And these men usually play that like a fiddle, because it's real easy. All you got to do is say, the Lord told me to come to you, right? And in the name of Jesus. You see, that's all it takes. No one reads the commandments. All right? So then you get into the other thing. After the women, all right, talk about what they bring to the table. After the women are ready to come to the man, watch this now. After the women are ready to come to the man and say, I am ready to be a bridesmaid. I am ready to be one of the 5 wise virgins. The men have already left psychologically that building. Why? Because we want somebody that could bring something that we need to the table, not you bring what you think we need. And this is where they mess up. For those of you who are spiritual, and for those of you who are logical, this message is not even for the spiritual people, because the same thing in spiritual awareness also applies to the logical brother, and it would behoove him to take some of these things to heart. When I read that parable, the prized woman was the young maidens, the maidens that have not known a man. Right? Now, even if they were maidens, if they were foolish, they usually missed out. All right? A lot of these women are always ready for a man when they are not ready to be anything for a good man. Or you get the other side. A lot of these women always want a good man when they can't bring a good man, themselves as a good woman. And we need to stop defining what good is by this abstract stuff and start looking at what good is by concrete stuff. So I thought about this, and this is what changed me a lot from dealing with the BAWs. I said, what is it that I need? Because by the definition of culture, by the definition of scripture, women consider me a good man. Their problem with me is they think I'm too strong. In my mind, they can't tell me what to do. I have all my ducks in a row. You got women with lower credit scores than me that want to try to help me on financial issues and credit scores. All right? And I would say, well, maybe if I just rolled into this, but we all know, coming from a single black mother family where most of us had phone bills that were in our name and messed up, credit history by the time we was 18, all right, that most of us was digging out 4s and 500 credit scores behind our mamas, because she was black, right? Now, when I looked at this and I said, well, I need to redefine what good is and stop looking just at the physical aspects and put points on physical aspects. But because beautiful to me is beautiful in so many arrays, why did I eliminate so much? Looking at what Hollywood and thugs said I should think is beautiful. All right, certain types of females I didn't bother with. I'll get to that in a minute. So let's talk about how the Blfefails come to value themselves. They decided to follow the feminist agenda and value themselves as men. So men don't want men. Men want women. When they decided to value themselves as men, they forgot that a real man could be a man better than she could be a man. But while trying to be a man, she forgot how to be a woman. So now she's neither a good woman or a good man, because she's not a man at all, right? Well, here's the other problem. So she took all the attributes of a good man and said, I'm going to be a good man by good men's values. And she threw away what men valued in women. Like beauty, femininity, class, intimacy, someone that can follow a good person, bringing in peace, joy, and happiness into a home. No, she threw that out the way. She became combative is because she found out that, wait, I'm competing with men trying to be a man, so let me become more combative, because men fight a lot, not without understanding why we fight and understanding that we don't fight a lot. You only thought we fight a lot. That's why you see more women fighting than men, because they don't understand. We think fighting, there's a risk to fighting. No matter how much kung fu, this, that, army training, there's a risk to fighting, so we avoid it if we can. And it defies logic to us. Like men, we're like, why fight if we don't have to? It's not logical. But see, they don't have that logical barrier there, right? So when we get into that, they threw all that away. In the midst of that, they said, all right, I don't need a strong man. I want children. That clock is ticking. Let me get a weak man. Let me get somebody I can control. So that's what they did. Then that don't pan out. But guess when it doesn't pan out? It doesn't pan out after they start having children from said dude. All right? So now, when they're ready for a good, strong man, they forgot about a couple of laws. When scripture said, get a woman in her youth and a maiden, we weren't supposed to be saddled down with some other man's children. All right? If we err in our youth as men, because of what the nature of our responsibility is, we can recover so long as we build towards handling our responsibility, financial stability, the ability when we get ready to put a roof over the head, protection, and all of that. Financial stability, well, getting your debts and stuff under order. Roof over the head, apartment, house, whatever. Protection, lift a little bit of weights, buy yourself the Second Amendment. Hey, you good to go, right? All right, now that takes work, right? That takes some long suffering some of the times. All right. But as we get older and wiser, we accumulate these things. But the women say, well, we can accumulate those things too, right? We could accumulate finances if the government gives them to them, if they fall into money. But stability, protection, they usually have to use their finances to hire protection. Half the time, they have to protect themselves from their own choices by trying to get somebody else to protect them from the mistake they made in a man. So they say, oh, we feel unprotected by men because the man we chose ain't protecting us. He's the problem. No, they're the problem. The man just exploited the mentality that these females had. They didn't want to understand that they are the problem. All right? So, now what happens? Now what happens? Well, what happens is this, is as she grows older, she becomes worse and worse of value for a good man who's looking to build something. Because the older she gets, the less she can give him to build with. While the older the man gets, the more knowledge, the more strength, the more experience he acquires in being able to build. Well, you got these females that say, well, I don't need no man, right? And so because the government is their man, and
say a command.
Because the government is their man, all right? Because the, hold on. Because the government is their man, all right? They thought that it was going to last. All right. Lo and behold, what ended up happening? Not only did that not last, but now they got issues. All right. They got some serious issues.
Continue on Katie Tollway.
All right. And their serious issues goes to this. They get older, they have another man's children, they are so saddled down with their decisions that it's very difficult for them to do anything else. About the best that they can hope for is some sucker to come along and relieve them of that responsibility, and not relieve them totally, give them some relief from that responsibility. That sucker don't even need to stay, because they could come in and all those children this woman now has from all these other relationships after rejecting the good man. Now, understand this. In most of these cases, most of these females rejected the good man. Some of y'all are like me, have females that rejected you when they were youthful, understanding who you are, now wanting you, but now they want you because you're good with children and they got a bunch. All right. They can't do anything they want to do. All right. Because all their choices went to hell in a handbasket. All right. And so they don't know what to do about that, because all their choices went to hell in a handbasket. So they're like, now what? What do we do? Well, we need to get some suckers, right? Even then, when they try to get with them dudes, when they try to get with somebody, They're not available. They're not available because their children make sure they're not available, or they got so much other stuff going on because their mind is all about scheming and dreaming and scheming about the dreaming about the scheming, that they don't know how to be ready for any kind of dude if he come up to the point where they could even meet the dude. Think about that for a second. They can't even meet nobody. All right. And half the times they can't meet a good man because they are still involved with a bunch of sorry men, with a bunch of bad men. Still involved with them. Can't get rid of them. All right. And at the end of the day, they're still looking for somebody to help them with their children. Understand this. They're looking for somebody to help them with their children. Not his children. She had another man's child, took him from him. Child support about to run out. Now these are her kids. They're not even children anymore. They're kids. And they're her kids. And she needs somebody to help her with her children, not yours. All right. This is why we should not be bothered with single mothers. Because single mothers aren't single. There's two things. As we get older, we get smarter and wiser. This is why women were supposed to go for older men, right? If they wanted something good, right? But a lot of them gave their virginity up to somebody their age, somebody that didn't have anything. And so they took a little more of their worth away from the desires of the older man. Then the next thing they did was had children in these situations that took a little more desire away. Then they took the children and ended up on child support. Well, if you're a spiritual man, you can't talk to that anymore because now she got a dude paying child support, which means that's her husband. See, this is just like the parable. They tried to twist that, well, that ain't the husband because we don't got papers. Yeah, you do got papers, child support papers. The court saying that this dude got to pay you some money. So if he'd have to give you money for a child that y'all have, he is, by definition in scripture, a husband. I know that's not convenient for a lot of these females, but it is what it is.
1 mile. Take exit 748.
It just is what it is.
On the right, toward Parker Cypress Road.
Right? And so they don't want to deal with that. Now, for the dudes that aren't scriptural or anything at all, listen to the logic of this. All right? How can somebody that can't give you a child build with you if another man's seed can take it from you? Think about that. And there are a lot of ways to do it. We got women that are so unreliable and so untrustworthy when it comes to false accusation that it is too much of a risk.
On the right, toward Parker Cypress Road.
It is too much of a risk, right?
Take the exit on the right.
It is too much of a risk for us to be in that kind of a relationship, especially in this day of the Me Too's. Though I don't need no man. Women are just as good as a man and stuff like that. Here's the thing.
Of a mile, be in either of the two right lanes.
If they are just as good as a man,
Parker Cypress Road,
then let them deal with their mistakes like a man. Period. I'm going to say this to the brothers that are spiritual and even to the brothers that are not. Some of the time, this is the Most High's way of punishing wickedness. And the wickedness is that these women
Turn right at the traffic
These
light.
women had made it a point to disparage men all their lives. They taught their sons to not be men. They taught it to the community. They went and joined all kind of groups and clubs and organizations that were against the Afro men. And now that they're getting their comeuppance, understand this. Now that they're getting their comeuppance, they expect for the brother to come and help them out. The very brother that they dissed, that they abused, that they were not loyal to, that they switched the laws of the parable of the wives. Think about this. Statistically, 59% of black women have multiple children from multiple babies' daddies. This means they believe in polygamy when they're the polygamists. But here's the thing. I saw a photo of these 4 simp dudes by this one woman, and she had 1 child. I want you to understand this. This one woman had 4 simps hitting it, and she had 1 child. How they know who the daddy is? They don't. Right? Now, when all them dudes die out, how many children, say them dudes died the next day, or she can't have any more children for some reason? All right? You can't grow a community. Understand this. You cannot grow a community. You cannot build an army. You cannot leave a lasting legacy as a community, as a nation, or as a people under that circumstance. And the reason why that won't work is, biologically speaking, the man is the seed maker. He can lay seed in more than one woman. The woman is the seed bearer. She can only bear the fruition of one seed at a time. Meaning, if you take 100 men with one woman, that woman can only still have 1 child. If you have 100 women with 1 man, that man has the potential of having 100 children. Ooh, now you're starting to grasp why the Caucasians, when they went in as friends, went in as missionaries, they used disease and everything to destroy the indigenous, why they set up this religious thing of 1 man and 1 woman. Because in our cultures, in all of them almost, it was 1 man, multiple wives, because no wife was supposed to be alone. No woman was supposed to be alone. So each woman had a man and possibly sons later after on and by, that they could build up a network of protection for the wives. All right. We get back to our society is flipped. Half the dudes don't know that they're the real fathers. You got dudes kicking females out the house, finding out years later after a bunch of steak dinners that the woman the child that she had wasn't even his. You have this going on all the time. So basically, we have a situation where we had a holy roller woman. Back to the story of this friend. Had a holy roller woman. Had a husband. Husband, salt of the earth, right? A lot of people had a problem because of the last name, but the salt of the earth, right? The wife was in church all day, every day. Come to find out after a while and by, maybe this year. So this is some people I knew all my life, had a bunch of children. Hardly any of the children was that husband's. When the husband put the woman out, she went to stay with her sister. Come to find out that some of the children that she started birthing was her sister's husband. So now the sister looking all frowned up because of her choice in men.
Say a command.
All right, in men. And how she is still paying for her choices even in her later years. She is so beside herself that now she's reaching out, I'm a good woman. All right, forgetting that we knew her when she went to college, that we knew her when she rejected the good man before she went to college. Remember, that piece of paper was more important than a family. Oh, I could get that later. At college, she got a little wild, met the wrong dude. The wrong dude. See, these women want that marriage license. They think that this is the way to trap the dude. And while it traps the dude, they forget that the same trap they set for the dude, they set for themselves. Oh, y'all didn't hear that? The same trap they set for the dude, they set themselves. They set for themselves. A lot of these females are under the conditions of the same traps that they set for the dudes. But you know, our problem is we give them relief in those traps. Here's the trap. She did all that, had all these children. All right, now she trapped the dude that she married, but she also trapped herself with the children. Because now she is a single mom, but she's not a single woman. See, you're only a single woman when you have no other ties. So in a club, when they be like, all you single ladies in here, throw your hands up. No, they all lying. Because almost all of them have children back at the crib. Half of them probably left the children by themselves at the crib. We see the news. So they're not single. We need to start redefining what is good for ourselves. One, if you're a single woman, then you need to be single. That means no children, no man. You need to be single. If I say, let's go to Brazil tomorrow, you need to be like, okay, let's go. If you can't do that, then you're not single. Well, if the first words that come out your mouth, well, I got to find a babysitter, then you ain't single. All right? If you look at a woman and she does not bring peace, serenity, or sex to the relationship, she's busted. I was having a conversation with a young brother. He was like, man, I met this woman on Instagram. Now, this is what he was taught by women. If a woman gives it up to you on the first, when you first see her, and you didn't have to spend no money on her, then she's not worth anything. I told him, nope, don't do it like that. I said, that's the one that like you. You know for sure that she just ain't, because he was like, man, I met her, we met face to face, and then I went and I smashed. See, that's the terminology. I smashed, and he's like, but then she wanted to go out. I said, no, that's the one you take out. If you smashing already, that's the one you take out. The ones that ain't doing nothing, you don't take them out. All right? The women have it backwards. They think you need to work for it. You don't have to work for it if they've been giving it up all their lives. All right? Now, just like this woman gave it to him, like right off the bat because she was attracted to him, she's been doing this for a minute. So, well, if he likes her and she like him, yeah, then that's the one you take out. You like her, take her out. Now, I'm not saying go to Papacito and Red Lobster, but I mean, just do it a little bit at a time and make sure you control the narrative. All right. You don't take women out that ain't done nothing for you. All right. When a woman comes off like that, I'm gonna tell you the best relationships I've ever had, um, until they went south because of some other reasons. Them, um, there was a woman. I was in Houston. I met a woman when I went to fix her computer. Right. So her computer was in her bedroom. And like most people, so I'm fixing the computer, and then I'm sitting on the bed, and so she just looking at me fix her computer, right? And what happens is that while I'm sitting on there waiting for the computer to do its thing, she just hops on me. Stuff happened. Bada boom, bada bang. Now, what happens next is we stayed together from that day, from that minute. See, I didn't have to guess. She was an attractive woman. You know, after we got done, I finished fixing her computer, and we stayed together. All right? We stayed together for a while. Because, see, the guessing game was out. It was out the window. So we stayed together for a while. Right? And then what broke us up was her weed problem. And when I was going on duty, I was still in the military at the time. When I was going on duty, her weed problem caused her to do a couple of foolish things with finances and stuff. And then she wanted somebody that she can control. So, some stuff happened after that, right? And I left her cold slap alone. Right? All right. And every relationship where I didn't have to have, where I did not have to guess, all right, it turned into a lasting relationship. And that woman, had she not done what she did, we would probably still be together today. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that female. I still got her video saved on my thing. Hey, woman of the past. What's up, beautiful? All right, what's up, Christopher Lane? Rolando G. If you would like to call in and say something, you can do that now. For those that have my number, and for those that if you don't have my number, but you are on my Facebook Messenger, you can do it that way. What's up, Anthony Jackson? David Bowman, what's going on? What's up, sweet lady? All right. So, what happens is now, because y'all know when I read scripture, I like to read it from a more direct Hebrew thing, right? But one of the things that happened is that I was looking on Google because I had to find Matthew's, and I wanted to read it to you because I knew what it said, but I wanted to show you and read it to you so that you know it's in Matthew's, the 25th chapter and all that stuff. All right, and as I was reading it, everybody, if you look in the comments, like, you look a little bit down to see, like, they had NIV, and I was like, well, what version am I going to read, right? But as I was looking down, I started looking at some commentary on Matthew 25. It is very, very direct. One bridegroom, 5 brides, with the potential, there was a potential for 10, but there was 5. And they was like, does Jesus approve of polygamy? And in history, that's how it was done in our cultures. Period. Because we didn't believe in leaving one woman single without the protection of a man. See, that was a duty. that was a duty to men to make sure that we could take care of females. And the women act as sister wives. This is why there wasn't that much grief. This was why the only person having grief back in them days was the man. All right. In our society, like I said, the single man, one woman was designed so that, understand this, so that the conquerors would not be reconquered by the ones that they put under submission. All right. Okay, and for the new people coming in late, let me just mention this real quick. I'm gonna be going to Brazil in September, so I'm taking stuff to Brazil. Right after that, we're taking computers and we're going to try to figure out the logistics of getting a printer in the Philippines, because I don't know how their customs work. So the computer is going to be easy. It's going to be a laptop, right? So we're going to do this. So my donation links are in the description box for those that like to help out this channel and what our channel's true mission is. And the Cash App is there. All you got to do is go to the description box. The Cash App is there. And you could go to the description box of any videos on my channel and click on the Cash App or the PayPal me. When you click on the PayPal me, if they ask you friend or business, you always choose friend. Because this stuff that we're doing, we're just doing. All right? It's not a business. All right? We're just doing. So this is not a business. Understand this. This is something that we're doing to help out people that's way less off than we are. Way less off than we are. All right. Okay. So we got to understand what the woman's job is for a man. So if we have everything set in order, right? Then she brings the peace, serenity. And this is something that I found out. And I'm sorry, I just have to say this, because this is my experience. In my life, for the people that know me, they will tell you until I went to Brazil, I've never messed with any woman other than a so-called black woman. Ever. Right? The next longest relationships that I was happy with was a Brazilian woman who's not a black woman, and a temporary relationship with a Hispanic woman, right, where I was content. See, men are striving to be content. Y'all got to understand this. Men strive to be content. We build to be content. If we're building to have a business, we want to be content that we have something to pass to our sons so they wouldn't have to struggle as much, so that they can take care of their family. Our daughters, we feel like that what we do will give them an edge when they're choosing a man that can take care of them. And when they find that, now we're content. Right? When a woman brings to the table a way to make a man feel content, once the man reached contentness, no other woman, unless that woman stopped doing her job, no other woman could get up in that. Period. When I was in Brazil with that woman, had it not been for her church, which was Holy Rollers, had it not been for her church, I was content. Understand? I was really, really content. Y'all know it. We was doing videos together. Y'all know it. I wasn't happy. I didn't have joy. I was content. See, content is joy, is happy, is, oh, this is somebody that like to hang. This is somebody like, even the arguments, it wasn't hostile. You had them, but you're like, man, You didn't mind them because it wasn't hostile. It wasn't about how they wanted to be you. It was about how they felt like they wanted this kind of treatment, this, that, and the other. Some of the times you was right, some of the times you was wrong. All right. But it wasn't an argument over being you as a man. All right. And when it came down to ultimatums coming by way of her church, that's what split stuff up. Then I was with a Hispanic woman after that. Right. And I was then content again, only in one way. Like after nights with her, I didn't feel like being with nobody else. My needs were being met. All right. Now that Hispanic one thought she was gangster, but so that's how that one. Yeah, boy, look. But anyway, all right. So this is it. The men strive to be content. Period. I've gotten to a place where I am content, financially content and stuff. So I'm not trying to work 5 extra jobs for what? All right. No, not going to happen. What am I working for? Now I'm doing work. Understand? All the stuff that I'm doing work, but it's nonprofit thing. I get to do what I feel is right with trying to raise money to do this, that, and the other, with using my retirement money that after my bills, right? And so I get to do what I think is spiritually right. And those that help me, all right, then they help me do what I think is spiritually. I'm at that point, so I'm content with doing that. My limitations are going to be based on my finances, based on what comes in, whatever, right? But so long as I stay within those limitations and don't go overboard and understand that, you understand, then I'm good. I'm content. Women don't understand that about men, and that's why they can't keep a man, because it is not their desire to be content, be happy. It is their desire to be like what they see in other women. The reason why it is more of a problem now than say back in biblical days is because in biblical days, you weren't looking in the king's palace to see how they was living. In our day, they got MTV Cribs. And a female on minimum wage thinks that she is worthy of MTV Cribs, not understanding that it takes a lot of work to maintain mansions. You have to hire people to maintain mansions. You can't enjoy a mansion. How you going to have a house with 12 rooms? It's just you, 2 children. Unless you're planning on having a lot of children, right? A house with 12 rooms. Who's cleaning that? See, they don't look at it. See, the TV make all of that. TV make all of that look good. All right. We are in a place where people said there is toxic masculinity. And you have to ask yourself, how is that then? Or whose fault is that? When all of society that raises boys through the teachers, through the homes, in a court system, favors females doing it. It's the females teaching. It's the news media with the female bias. Most of us in the Afro community are growing up in a single female household. So when we look at the problem with men, you can't blame it on the good men. You can't even blame it on the bad men, because the women have the right of refusal. At the end of the day, they have to blame it on their choices. The problem is, again, they rejected the good man for a man that they can control. they don't bring to a relationship what a man needs, but more times than not, most women in today's society bring to a relationship what men don't need. Say, for instance, children. We ain't talking grown children. We talking about little children running around other people's children because Pookie went to jail, right? If you do try to meet them, even if they live down the street and you're a good man, they're unavailable to you because they're always gaming the system, gaming people that when they're talking to you, trying to get with you, they're trying to get you to chase them. They always have something to do. And then they mad when you have something to do. Like go to another country and get with somebody that have time for you. It's a sad thing when I can't visit a friend up the street that I know all my life because they just came into town because they too busy. But I could go to another country and have people stop working at the NGOs to come pick me up at the airport, even though I tell them not to. That's why I hate to tell them when I'm coming in. You know, I be trying to hang out with my friends a little bit. They be at the airport waiting on me. Oh, okay, we so glad to see you. All right, that's sad when you get more of that from foreigners. That is sad when you get more of that from foreigners than you get from people in your hood. Hey, what's up, Backwoods Rider? What's up, Sean Williams? All right. Period. That's sad. Now, I'm going to say this. If somebody would like to call or buzz in on Messenger, now is the time to do it. All right. If somebody have something to say and you're on my Messenger, all right. And I think all you got to do, if you go to Messenger and put in my name, KI space JAMISON, and then add and then call, you could do it that way too. But if somebody, modern FIFA use sugar to manipulate amongst men each other. So the real problem with modern day is never resolved or fixed. Hold on, this is interesting. Christopher Lane says, and if you think about it, these modern females use FBW sugar to manipulate us men amongst each other. So the real problem with modern dating is never resolved. And that is true. But here's the thing. That's partially our fault as men. Because when I was talking to something, when I found out about the man of my friend sleeping with the wife of another man and then posting it on Facebook, I was like, that's the failure in men right there. Because we're not supposed to mess with nobody else's woman. Right? That's our problem right there. We've been listening to all them drop that zero, get with a hero. No, leave her with the zero. She chose him. And she need to, and we need to stop judging the worth of a woman solely because she got a big butt. Right? That doesn't add no worth in a woman. All right? Period. As a matter of fact, I can't recall in my life until the modern era when they start putting it out and just putting it out there. I could not recall in my life where I was ever attracted to a woman because of her backside. The front side, milk. Yeah, I was attracted to milk. I was attracted to half pint size, and even gallon. All right. But never was I just like, Well, turn around. I'm like, what is that? But that's when gel culture started to determine what beauty was. Gel culture, thug culture, the culture of death. And how is it the culture of death? Think about how many women died getting silicone injections. Think about that, people. How many people died getting the silicone injections? I would say to you, real quick, my BitChute, go into the description box of this video. All right. And you might have to reset your thing. You might have to redo your, just go up there and click enter again. Go into the grip. Don't forget to look on my BitChute. It's going to be Reluctant Nabi Neo, BitChute, BITCHUTE. Oh, let me put it up in here real quick. When you go to my BitChute, all right, there are videos that y'all were watching, all right, that I took down and put on BitChute, and there's a lot of stuff that I took down and put on BitChute. Some of you may have seen the one on mask. All right. So basically, real quick, I'm going to give you the channel. All right, so there it is, my BitChute channel. All right, and you can see my donation links and everything else in the description box, right? All right, click on that, and just look at some of those last interesting videos, right? The video that y'all probably need to see is the one on practicing doctors, right? That's really important. PolitiFact shows itself. Look up that one, PolitiFact. Warning. All right, so they should be in order 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so check those out. Don't forget to subscribe to BitChute, because all the videos that I believe that YouTube would see. BitChute is more about free speech. I mean, you can't go totally wild, but they're more about free speech. All right, and so I'm gonna put a lot more of these videos on BitChute, and I'm gonna just do my lives on here, because on here at least y'all could call in if you want to, right? So if anybody, y'all let me know now. So basically, so I would like to say this, and so these Blfefails here are still unavailable. All right, they're not single because they have another man's children with them, and they make meeting very difficult. All right, period. That's all of those, right? So basically, I would like to add this. So if somebody would like to call in, this is the time to do it. And if not, I'm going to bid you adieu, call it a day, and thank everybody for showing up. Don't forget, my Cash App and my PayPal me is in the description box for those that like to help out with what I do in the community and what this channel does. My BitChute channel is there. My Twitter is there. So I don't know how you say it, but my Twitter account is there. So subscribe to my Twitter, subscribe to my BitChute. All right. And this is so that all the content that, all the truth, all the stuff that I can prove that the doctors are saying, when they start banning doctors from YouTube and Facebook, you know it's a problem. But BitChute allows the doctors to have their say, the ones that are actually looking at patients, right? So basically, that's why I'm on there. All right. So y'all could go there and subscribe there. So if somebody would like to call in real quick, anybody have something to say or add? What in the world? What did I just do? If somebody would like to call in or have something they would like to say or add, let me know. Okay. So I'm going to wait for a hot second. Oh, Jamil Collins. That's a good one. I don't need no man. Jesus is my man. So the next time they ask your help, tell them Jesus, call Jesus. He'll be right on time. If they already late for where they need to go, ask them why didn't they call Jesus sooner? Hold on, and let me say this. They don't believe in polygamy, but with Jesus, he could have all the women he wants. All these women saying Jesus is my man. Ain't that polygamy? All right, so what's this 5-star thing? So with that said, I mean, think about it. All these women, Jesus is their man, so they don't need a human man. They need the invisible man that they can neither see, touch, speak to, or hear. He can't send money down. As a matter of fact, he can't send money down, this, that, and the other. All right, Jesus is their man and the government is their man. Okay, so that's polygamy. All right, so woman of the past, I don't think in the United States we could do polygamy as a wide thing for this reason. We've been so corrupted from the right way to do things for so long that it will take generations to get back to the natural order of things. You know what I mean? And so in the United States, because here's the thing, with the way things are, a lot of men barely want to deal with one woman, much less multiple women, right? And if you notice that the dudes that get involved in polygamy are usually younger dudes with younger females, and they struggle the whole way through. But polygamy was not supposed to work that way anyway. It was the more established the dude became, the more wives he got after being established. So the way we do things is way out of order and backwards. Right? And I can't imagine, like me, I wouldn't do it. Now, I made sure that females know that I could do it, but just because you could do something don't mean it'd be the right thing for you to do. And me, I just wouldn't do it. because it's a whole lot of headaches and stuff like that. And in this culture with these women, it just, I'm with you. I don't really think. Yeah, yeah, right now, um, like, I don't have the, right now, I don't have the goal to need more than one wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not like, I'm gonna build a farm. I'm gonna do this, that, and the other. That's not where I'm at. Right? I'm like, I'm traveling. I'm gonna go around, do these things and stuff. And basically, I would like to have one woman that could travel. You see, and then do it that way. Jamil Collins, would a female would say, I can't find a good man, so I'll just find a woman then. Yeah, so um monogamy is bad. It's just bad. Monogamy itself isn't bad. I'm talking about a monogamous marriage. Getting a license or anything is bad for the man. If you are a man, I can see the advantage for a woman. If you are a man, it's the worst mistake you can make in your life. Everybody you see is getting a divorce after retirement where the woman waited long enough to take half his stuff. Period. All right. It's not worth it, especially in the United States. If we were in a different country that valued family and stuff, then that'd be different. But here in the United States, oh, hell to the no. All right. It is a bad thing. Having multiple wives would be nice for the women too, because it would take the stress off of them. It would take a lot of burdens off of them. Women that have headaches all the time, they wouldn't have to worry about it. Other wives could meet the need. The wives could go out to shop and stuff. The girls' night out could literally be a girls' night out amongst family members. There would be more than one woman to take care of the needs of the children. See, people don't look at that, right? But in our society, think about it. In our society, we're running away from marrying one woman. So that's how you know if this society is if one woman is poison for a man right now, then ain't no man talking about, yeah, I want to have 3 wives. No. We don't want any. Because they poison, dangerous, hostile. All right. And in our society today, the last thing you need is a bunch of women that's together doing something, because they plotting. See, the mentality is too different, and in their minds, in the minds of a lot of these women, are ways to, they're plotting on ways to get over on men and take their resources for themselves. And this is to leave the man as destitute as possible if they can. It is, we want him to build, and then we want to steal everything that he builds. That's the model of the woman in the United States right now. Not what they say, but if you look at what they do in action, if you look at these divorces, if you look at how these lawyers are making the money, all right, this is where we're at. All right. So with that said, I'm going to be out and I'm going to be heading on down the road. All right. Peace, love, and soul. Don't forget to look in my description box for the donation links. Look in there for the BitChute if you want to go and see. Y'all need to go look at some of the videos on there. The one with the doctors. Hold on. And subscribe to the BitChute. All right. Practicing doctors call out lying CNN. PolitiFact shows itself as untrustworthy propaganda for the Democratic Party. Y'all need to go look at those videos right there. Y'all really do. Y'all really need to go look at those videos. Probably when you look at, because they're going to be very, very important, and it has everything to do with how we're living today and stuff. And listen to what these doctors are saying, and maybe you can then take care of yourself from things going wrong in your life. All right. Oh, okay. Hold on. All right. So let me get ready to go. All right. And I'll holler at y'all later. All right. Peace, love, and soul. I'm out.